Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Chibi New.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And it's the last day of summer anime here in October.
Yep.
It feels weird to say, but yeah, so how's everybody's October going? Did we watch any spooky movies yet?
Yeah.
Nope.
Me and,
Yes.
me and Yin watched Hocus Pocus yesterday. That was the first
Okay.
time they had seen it, so
Wait, what?
yeah. Yeah. That was
For
my,
real?
That was my thoughts as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, and that was like a couple years ago.
Same.
Yeah, but you've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've watched this movie too much.
Yeah.
Well, I watched Beetlejuice for the first time yesterday.
What? For the first? Oh, I love that
Wait,
movie.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so basically everyone but me and Chibi has not seen enough movies in their lives.
Well, I mean, you're always telling me that I need to see more movies.
Okay,
so I
I'm the
can't really
only
say
one who's seen
anything.
enough movies in his life so far. Envy, you been watching anything other than anime?
Not really, no, unfortunately.
Okie dokie. Well, then let's get on to what you may be more expertised in. So we watched this week the final episode of Copcraft, episode 12, and episodes 22 through 25 of Steins Gate. Am I getting that right?
Yes, you got it right.
Dude.
Cool. Alrighty, let's get into it. So Copcraft ended about the way I thought it would. Little on the anticlimactic side, kind of just like, okay. Oh, boy, I feel like it's almost like the show went, oh, geez, we're at episode 12 already. All right, time to wrap it up. And, yeah, that's what we got.
I mean, I kind of felt probably more satisfied than you because I did like the final battle a lot, but I mean, yeah, it was kind of like
It was decent.
it was kind of
It was
rushing
alright.
through it.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue. Is like I feel like we talked about it like early on. Show started great, and then it kind of petered off and faffed about, and now it's I don't want to say a rushed ending, but not as big of an ending as I think they could have had given how the show started.
Yeah.
I guess we just okay. So when we left off in episode 11, they got kidnapped by the undead FBI and Carmen Zalata. And yeah, now that we just literally pick up right there, they go to his secret base where he's explains his evil plan because he's the villain and he's got a monologue, which he never felt like a monologue. Well, I guess he was a bit of a monologuing villain, but. Yeah, he reveals that the whole point of rigging elections and doing all this stuff was to make sure that humans and elves hated each other, which we all kind of guessed a little bit.
Yeah.
But he says his reason for it is because he wants them to remain separate because of porn.
Well, he doesn't want the human culture or the Dorani culture to influence their world. So it's not those things where it's like, oh no, we don't like change. We want to stay things the way they are, and then Talarna's like, no, change can be good. It just depends on what you choose to accept, and we've done 1,000 times before.
Yep. And yeah, so he's just an old man living his old ways, and yeah, and Kay's getting tortured for information on because they still have the photo of the politician with the assassin, and yeah.
I will admit, though,
We never learned who the assassin was trained by or how he learned to do that shit.
yeah,
Someone who, like Tilly, apparently knows.
Oh, yeah, so this is one of those endings where it's just like, hey, go read the manga.
No, go read the light novel. That's all they have.
Or whatever. Same difference. It's a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I will admit, though, I did get a good laugh over the part where the one guy's trying to get the password from Kay's phone, and he's slowly typing out the password, and it's really
Yeah. Same. All right, type this out. Fuck. And like the guy taking it as an insult, but I almost thought it would have been hilarious if like right after, because he kills the guy and takes his gun and all that. I almost wanted him to pick up the phone, type in "fuck you," and it actually does unlock the phone.
I think I honestly, I feel like it is
I mean,
the password.
because then ultimately he, even if he told him the truth, he wouldn't have believed the truth even if he told it to him. So I think that would have been really funny, but it didn't really show that. So yeah, I'm a little saddened by it. But yeah, Kay fights his way through a bunch of zombies to get to Tilly, which seems a lot easier than it was earlier in the series. And he gets up there, and Zelato's doing his illusion, magic, fireball, spamming thing that he did last time, and they're like, okay, we gotta do something about this guy. We gotta, I'll shoot at him, and whenever they'll turn on the sprinklers to show where he is, so he's not invisible anymore. And well, Tilly's too hurt; she can't use her sword. So Kay runs over, hits the sprinkler. Zelato tries to aim a fireball at him, and Tilly shoots him with Kay's gun, and Kay cuts off Zelato's head with Tilly's sword, and that's it. Big Bad's dead.
Yep.
And they have a bit of a moral conversation about turning in evidence that was going to take down one of the candidates, and Trump got elected, and they're all just dealing with like, well, we're just going to try to do the best with what we got kind of deal. And Tilly's staying in the Earth. Sent a letter to her family, I guess. And they're off on another adventure.
Yep.
Satisfying, I guess. Bit anticlimactic.
Meh. It was okay for like a one-off.
Yeah, I
sort
think
of
that's
series.
Yeah, it's not a problem to be okay, but it started really good, and it just ended okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it's just a little unsatisfying because like no matter what you say, it's like it went downhill, which is unfortunate. I don't know. What do you guys think of the series overall? I feel like we've gone over the series overall for a while now, but we might as well go over final thoughts.
It's like you said. It started off like pretty good, like pretty like quick right out of the gate, getting us into plot things, and then they just did a lot of unnecessary stuff, and they didn't bring back like anything that really mattered until the very end, and well, they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
We still didn't get anything about the war or the lore.
I wasn't gonna
that.
say it, but I'm still peeved about that because I didn't get my world building.
Yep.
And I really would have wanted that.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of disappointing because I feel like you do have like it's not a world that we haven't seen in some capacity before.
Yeah,
but
still.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's still an interesting premise. It's still a world that could be explored and looked at from a number of different ways. We have seen elements of it, but the integration between the elf and human and all that stuff, that's good. It's nice to see how these cultures come together. But if you don't know anything about one of the cultures, then you don't understand the culture shock or, what they're going through when they're integrating or any of that kind of stuff. Like, And part of the problem is, like, half of the show is a bit of the fish out of water thing for Tilly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think we kind of just assume she kind of comes from this fantasy, medieval, Tolkien Dungeons and Dragons kind of world.
I don't think it's necessarily that.
Well,
really.
it's definitely in the realm of, like, sword and sandal kind of, well, no, maybe not sandal, but, sword and sorcery kind of world.
Yeah, something like that, but I don't feel that it's quite like a Tolkien-esque kind of thing. I feel like it's more of a lighter version, I think. Because from
Narnia?
just yeah, more like that.
Yeah, Tolkien light. I don't think C.S. Lewis would like us saying that, but okay, I could kind of see that. Yeah, a little more of a okay. So she's from Narnia, and she's coming to modern L.A. Okay, but to be fair, I know I've read the books for Narnia. I know the Narnia thing. Mm-hmm. That being said, we don't know all about her culture and all that sort of stuff, so we don't know how it all sits with her, and we hear her say certain things like, oh, this is dishonorable, this is whatever, blah, 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 and I just feel like it would have been better to have a little bit more of a frame of reference.
Yeah.
For that.
Maybe instead of, going into, the unnecessary plot points, we could have gotten a little more character building in that regard.
Yeah, I
liked.
feel like a quarter to a third of these episodes could have been scrapped and just do some world building, do some lore, do some
if it's there,
plot
who
with
knows
the
if the
guy.
author even wrote it in yet?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how long the series has been going on. I mean, they usually get 2 books out before they go let's make an anime.
It's got 6 volumes as of right now. I know the 6th one, I believe, came out while the show was airing.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Well, if that's true, then that makes sense for, you do have a good amount of stuff ahead of you. That being said, you couldn't... If this was just the first volume, I feel like we could have condensed some stuff. Or we could have gotten rid of some things or skipped over some stuff and got to some actual plot points instead of just wasting time on cats. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say good setting, decent characters, bit of a flawed execution overall.
It was really a tale of two halves for me. Like I said before, the first 6 episodes I loved, and then episodes 7 through 11 I were just kind of meh about. And then I probably liked the finale more than you guys, but yet again, I watch a lot more, and I guess I've been watching a lot more anime recently, and a lot of other anime have been really struggling in the finale, so this one I thought was alright.
Okay. I feel like a lot of anime nowadays is just having that issue of, and I feel like we have talked about this, that it's we're gonna spend all our thought into making the first 3 episodes amazing, and then whatever for the rest of it.
I'm not even sure if it's so much that, so much as it is just that, they do make the first 3 episodes good, but then, depending on pacing, it could be just, really well paced out to be paced out well for a show, or some anime may just not have that.
Maybe it might be a fault with a manga. For all we know, this was a straight, or the light novel, and I know with a manga or a light novel or something, you're gonna have those ooh, here's the plot, and they especially want to hook you in the beginning, otherwise no one's gonna read it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll have those little breathing points between the big plot points, but that's fine in a manga because you can it's consumed differently.
Yeah.
And
because manga even they have they're set from anywhere from 4 to 5 chapters usually per a volume.
Yeah.
And if you've got manga that's published a chapter a month, that's also consumed a lot differently.
Yeah. So, you can have as long as whatever the individual story's going on is interesting, it's fine. And you can get to your big plot points when you need to get to your big plot points. I feel like more people are willing to deal with filler episodes with manga and whatnot. because it's coming from the main author in that. I've watched plenty of anime with like filler series that were just filler for the anime, and it's never fun. But I don't know, when it's filler from the manga, they're fine with it because I guess it's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the consumption of an anime is much faster, whether you're binging it or whether you're watching it from week to week or whatever. You got to get to the point faster, otherwise it's not interesting.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's just where it has some failings. And like a lot of modern anime seem to have that failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as giving this a yay or a nay,
We can't really do that at this point. It's done.
Well, no, I think we can say a yay or a nay overall for the series. Like, but part of me is, again, in that middle ground of like, there's good parts here. It's not the most satisfying thing. It's not like Hinata where I was like, yay, you need to watch this. This was a good show. So it's kind of like one of those, you know? This is good if you're into that kind of thing and you kind of run out of other shows of similar premise that you're looking for.
Are you leaning... Is it more of a meh in the, like, positive meh category or more of a meh in the negative category?
I think that would depend on the individual and what they're looking for. It's definitely a meh. It might be a positive meh if you're just looking for something with a particular setting and something with decent characters. If you're looking for more plot and a tighter, more tightly written story, I'm gonna say it's a negative meh.
So, yay?
Meh.
With the question mark.
Yay if you got the time. Nay if you're actually looking to get something done.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
What about you guys?
Also meh.
I feel like we're gonna have to come up with like a tier rating system. Like, you guys watch Jeremy Johns on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy it on Blu-ray. Awesome-tacular. Dog shit.
Yeah. If we were to use his rating system, I'd probably say this is a good time if you're drunk.
I go one step above that. Good time, no alcohol required. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It'd be a good
Alright.
show, like just to watch in one, just get it done instead of trying to watch it weekly like we were doing.
Maybe it would be better like that. I don't know. I've had similar issues where sometimes, like, and maybe this is just me, I'm impatient, that I just find binging a show a lot more interesting than watching it from week to week. But yeah. Yeah, what are your final thoughts?
I agree with everyone else that it's kind of like a meh for me. There were parts of it that I thought were really good, and then there were parts of it that I was like, you could have done better, and I'm disappointed. I did like the fight scene at the end, like, I guess how they took down, like, Zalata, like, that was fine, just because I thought it was, like, good animation, and it was kind of badass, but the rest of it, I was just kind of like, eh. But, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of neutral on it.
Yeah, that pretty much seems like how most people are calling it. So, yeah, that concludes Copcraft. Moving on to the other stuff. Steins Gate. We watched the end of Steins Gate.
Steins.
How do we all feel about this?
Oh, the emotions.
The emotions.
Range of emotions.
Yep. Okay, let's get into it. So when we left off, we were debating back and forth whether Kurisu should let herself die or not to save Mayuri, and we get a little... the next episode gives us more of that, as we're going into her mental state, her thoughts on the subject, Okabe's thoughts on the subject. They're going back and forth trying to think, like, well, how are we going to do this? Like, should we do this? Can we find another way around it? We can't find another way around it. What do we do? And then they're like, well, there's world lines, you know? Maybe I'm not going to die. Maybe I'll be alive in this one and you'll be off in another one. And, you know, You know, there's an infinite possibilities. They don't know for sure anything. But romantic developments.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
not what episode 22 is remembered for. Episode 20
No, it's not.
is remembered for the ship coming together.
Yep, that ship came into port. That sounded far more sexual than it needed to be.
You said it.
There's a reason why they're my favorite anime couple of all time, and that
Really?
I haven't seen a lot. So,
Say that again. You kind of cut out.
oh, I'm sorry. That episode is the reason why they're my favorite anime couple of all time that I've seen.
Yeah, I like that, where they're just like, you know, they went through a lot together, and they're like, well, we might never see each other again after this, so we might as well get our feelings out there. Christina, I'm in love with you. How do you feel about me? And she just does that, close your eyes, and they make out.
Yep.
And that's really cute. And, so yeah, and then she's actually leaving back for America. And they have to go and turn the whole D-mail thing around, get everything back to normal. But at the last minute, right when they're about to do it, she shows up again and she's like, hey, I forgot to tell you. But we don't hear what she says. We know what she says, but we didn't get to hear what she says, and Okabe didn't either. And then, we're back to the main world line. Everything's okay.
Yep.
Everything's back to normal.
Wow.
And he has himself a good moment of being upset. But that's only one episode! And we watched like 4.
And then it turns out Suzuha comes back again in a new and improved time machine and says, hey, World War III is still on. CERN is going to take over the world. You have to save Kurisu in order to save the world.
Yep, and Okabe's like, well, fuck that. Do you know what I've been going through lately? She's dead, just let it be, and all that stuff. And they're like, no, dude, we can change it. We can do the thing, and your future self actually told me to come back and fix all of this. And he's like, well, fuck. You know, I gotta do it.
Yeah, Mayuri talks some sense into him, so he goes...
Very forcefully.
Yeah, so then he goes and he does it, but he screws up the first time.
Oh,
and then,
magnificently so.
Yeah, and then Suzuha's like, you were supposed to screw up the first time.
Well, we should say what happens when he screws up.
Okay. So he like... It ends up that the person who stabbed, well, I guess, who was confronting Kurisu was her dad.
Yeah. Turns out he's the guy that Okabe was heckling in episode 1. We're back in episode 1, basically, where she got stabbed. And he shows up like 20 minutes, an hour or something before it happens. And some amount of time. And like he ends up running into a bunch of people and like setting things in motion for the final confrontation. And yeah, turns out Dad's an asshole. We knew that, but we didn't realize how big of an asshole.
He's always been jealous of his daughter overshining him and being smarter than him, and so whenever she develops a fully functioning time travel theory, something he's never been able to do all his life, he's like, well, I can't let you take credit for this. This is my life's work. You're gonna be in the... I'm gonna be having all the glory.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah. So, they get into a fight, him and Okabe, trying to, I guess, stop him from killing Kurisu, and, ends up that Okabe slips up and, like, runs forward and, like, misses the dad and ends up stabbing Kurisu.
Yep.
So, he kills Kurisu, and he's
dad
like...
had a knife.
Yeah. And he's really fucked up about that.
As you would be. How could you not be in that scenario?
And then we find out that the dad steals the report, and that's how the whole time travel war thing gets like started because everyone starts rushing to see who can like finish the time machine first. But anyways, so they go back, and then he's so distraught, and then he gets the video message from his future self saying
he got that in episode 1, but he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Apparently,
but now he can.
Well, you go ahead.
Oh, but now he can see it. That he had to screw up first before he could see it.
Yeah. Weird, but okay. We'll go with it. Time travel mumbo jumbo.
Yep. So then they start the final mission to save Kurisu. Like, it has to be that he doesn't change the past while changing the past.
Yes, because the message was from his future self, who's apparently has not changed a day. And he's like, hey, you gotta, you still have to set up the whole D-mail world line thing, so you gotta see Makise Kurisu dead, but you can save her if you just make it look like Makise Kurisu's dead, but you also have to make sure that the report doesn't get to Russia. They call it the former Soviet Union. We all know it's Russia. Whatever. But that has to go down, and... apparently the plane crashed, but the doctor wasn't on it, and the information wasn't on it because he got stopped at the airport because he had the metal UPA that Mayuri lost.
Yeah.
So, that's
so
the kicker.
Wouldn't let him go through security.
Yep. So, now they have to go back again, and hopefully it'll all work out this time.
He intends to use one of the future gadget laboratory things that has, like, fake or blood in it, but it turns out it's hard. He hasn't used it.
Yes.
So, what's he do?
Well, I mean, he had to get the UPA first.
Oh, yeah, he bought the metal UPA, hid it from Mayuri, so you got, like, a green generic one. Then...
The little plastic thing wouldn't set off a metal detector.
Then he goes up, everything's working, but oh no, the goo's hard. It won't work. So, what does he end up doing? He gets stabbed himself, not lethally, and...
Yeah, he provokes the dad into attacking him, gets stabbed, scares the dude off because, I mean, the guy's just he's a blowhard. And then he has to just rip open his own wound to cover Kurisu in blood after he tasers her.
Yep.
And then he limps away, sees himself find Kurisu, and then back to the future, everybody.
Yeah.
And they've achieved, at long last, the Steins Gate peaceful world line.
Yep. That must have been a really hard ending to get in the visual novel.
Well, that's the true route, like the true ending. All that.
Yeah. This seems like a very difficult game to play if we were to play it.
Probably.
It's a long one.
So, yeah. So, they get that all done. They get that all squared away. Kurisu lives. Everybody gets to live. Presumably, Suzuha disappears because she never had to come back to the past. It's all paradoxical, but who cares? And Okabe goes around, gets some pins. He makes the lab pins for everybody, and he starts sending them around. Moeka's working downstairs now, as well.
Yeah.
So everyone's good. And they're gonna put the 8th member, the Suzuha member badge, away because they're not showing up for like 7 years. And, Okabe's just kind of walking down the street, thinking about things. It's like, it's unfortunate that, I'm not going to get to see Kurisu again, but, it's better that the world has her in it, and she's going to do a lot of great science and all sorts of blah, blah, blah. Walking down the street, minding his own business, then BAM! Who shows up?
Kurisu.
Yup. And they're like, what? I know you. How do I know you? And
yeah, it turns out that everyone, in a way, has some form of reading Steiner. They can have some memories. They do it as dreams. Okabe is the only one that truly remembers everything from all the world lines.
Yup. He remembers it all in perfect detail, but everyone else knows something happened. Even Kurisu, and she's like, I know this person. How do I know this person? And then, but she knows, like, he's an idiot, and... Yeah, so
Well, that leads us to
Okabe
the
just
OVA
has so
episode.
much mental baggage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, after this, he absolutely does. But, hey, he got through it. He got through it. He found his final lab member and gave her the badge, and
Yee.
that's where that series ends. Except for the OVA. Where we're going to America. Yeah, so I think Ferris was in a card tournament or something. And she invites everyone for moral support, and they all go over to LA, where Kurisu is, because she's American. And, yeah, how many times did Okabe get arrested this episode?
At least twice, if not 3 times.
Yep. He mouths off to airport security that he's a mad scientist, gonna take over the world, and they detain him. Which, I've been through airport security a bunch of times. I'm sure if I said I was a mad scientist bent on world domination, they'd just be like, get the fuck out of here. I guess he does it as well outside the airport and gets arrested by the cops.
Yeah.
He just needs to learn to shut up.
He's taken his
I don't...
Kiyoma shtick a little too far.
I've never seen police arrest someone that fast for just yelling something out into the air. But, hey, I don't know the cops in LA, so. Yeah, so Kurisu's driving around. She got a nice car, by the way. And, yeah, they're all staying at this motel. Because I guess they didn't want to stay at a 5-star hotel that Ferris put them up at.
Okabe canceled the reservations in his Hyo and Kiyoma personality.
That is just a waste. But, yeah, so they're all hanging out, and they're trying to figure out room situations and whatnot, and Mayuri's sleeping with Ruka. Well, not sleep, well, you know what I mean. And Daru's having a moment about that. It's like, oh, it's Yuri-licious. And then Okabe, who's sleeping in the same room as him, is like, well, and isn't this room kind of yaoi? And well, looks like Daru doesn't want to share a room anymore. But he runs into Kurisu outside, who's still confused about a lot of stuff. We find out there's Diet Dr. Pepper. What the fuck? They have a conversation where, looks like we're back to being tsundere. Yeah, so she's talking to him about her dreams and how, it's weird. It's like, I remember this stuff, but I don't remember it. And, I know my own life, but it's because it hasn't been that, but it has been that. And she's trying to figure it all out. And Okabe's kind of like, well, I guess, it depends on what it's whatever your perspective is. It's like, it was real for me because I witnessed it and felt it happen as it was happening. You didn't really, so, you could consider it a dream if you want, or whatever you feel like doing. It's whatever you want it to be, because it's not this world line anymore. And she wants to ask about a particular dream that she's been having, but she just can't. Because she's just too tsundere again. But yeah, so Ferris goes, wins the Rhinet tournament. Rhinet, right?
Yeah.
That was the card game? Yeah. And I don't know why Kurisu had to work at the maid cafe, but she did. And I don't know what Okabe was doing. But yeah, they get into a fight, and Okabe walks outside for some air, sees Suzuha, what the fuck? And she gets in a car and drives off, and he chases after her into the middle of the desert. Catches up to this person. Turns out it's not Suzuha. It's just someone who looks remarkably like Suzuha and sounds just like her, and it's like, what is going on here?
It's her mom!
Yeah!
Yep.
And, yeah, he's just kind of like having a conversation with her, who's remarkably cool about someone who just randomly followed you, 80 miles into the desert.
Yeah, I'd be calling the cops.
Yeah. But, yeah, anyway. They're like, they're just talking, it's like, yeah, this person must be really important to you, and blah, 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 and, I'm gonna go to Las Vegas and have some fun, and blah, blah, yada, 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 and it's like, when do you think you'll see this person again? He's like, yeah, in like 7 years. That's funny. A psychic told me I was gonna get married and have a kid in 7 years. All right, I guess psychics are real now, too. But yeah, so she drives off.
Who knows if that psychic wasn't Okabe? In some other weird world line.
No, that means he had to come back to the past just to tell the mom to go see. This is turning into an episode of How I Met Your Mother. It's actually narrated a little bit too, isn't it? But yeah. Uncle Okabe is stuck in the desert because after Mama Suzuha drives off, he realizes, oh, I don't have a cab, I don't have cash, I don't got a phone. I guess I'm walking back to LA. But lo and behold, in his moment of need, the assistant comes to his rescue. And Kurisu drives up and is like, hey, you need a ride? But she's out of gas and has a broken phone too.
Yep.
So they're stuck in the middle of the desert.
She didn't think that one through.
And, yep. They're just hanging out and they're still going back and forth about, like, well, the other world lines and this and that. And it's like, so what really happened? He's like, I'm in love with you. I understand if you don't understand that, but I am. And, yeah. What do you think about me? And then she just walks right up to him and is like, close your eyes. And the series ends. That was nice. Little note that they ended on there. What did you guys think overall of these episodes of the series in general?
I mean, rewatching it again, it made me fully point out the things I loved about the show, as well as some of the things I didn't like about the show. I still think the first 4 to 5 episodes can be a little... I know it's set up, but I think it could be a little, maybe too slow-paced. And I also think the dad was a little over the top. I know he's supposed to be the douchebag, but I thought he's like going way over the top for a show like this, in my opinion. But everything else, the story, the characters, the drama, the humor, everything.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't know that I think that the first couple episodes are entirely too slow. Because, I mean, we're thinking about this as a hindsight sort of, like, we've already seen this kind of thing. So we knew what was going to happen already whenever we were in those first couple episodes. I don't remember feeling like it was a slow show the first time I watched it. So, I mean,
I talked to a lot of people who had seen the first couple episodes, and, like, they said they'd gotten bored.
Really?
Because nothing was really happening aside from getting introduced to the characters and sort of establishing kind of the time travel-y stuff that was going to be happening. But that was because the first several episodes are a lot of, like, build-up, but very slow build-up.
I get that. Plot-wise, it's a little slow, but when I was watching it, I thought the characters and the character interactions, the comedy, the stuff like that more than made up for it. I didn't feel like they were slow in the beginning.
I mean, that's how I felt too, but that was just things I heard from other people.
No, that's fair. I mean, rewatching it, it feels a little slow because I'm, like, waiting for the big moments to happen. But I'm wondering whether that's just, like, anticipation.
Well,
because I know things are going to go bad.
I think going through and watching it the first time through, you have no expectations if you haven't really played the visual novel. You're not going in really expecting anything, so you're just taking it as it comes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I guess it just doesn't bug me. I can kind of see how it would bug some other people, though. I think, again, it's one of those things where it depends on your sensibility. If you're okay with just hanging around with characters that you just enjoy versus the plot and whatnot. Like, I feel like we had the opposite thing to say about Copcraft, where it's like, yeah, we're enjoying the characters, but we need the plot, and it's like, had Copcraft maybe been longer, and we had
Oh,
more
yeah.
time to do more stuff that actually had to do with the plot. But like for a short show, this is not as short of a show, so we have a little bit of time to goof around and get to know our characters in low stakes scenarios.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? What else did you guys think?
It's just a good series, man.
Yeah. I think this was without a doubt a definite EA. No matter like, no matter how you slice it, this is a good EA anime.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's. I think the last time I checked, it's the third or fourth highest rated show on my anime list by the fans.
That's high praise,
Yeah,
especially seeing how fickle a lot of them are.
yeah.
What are the first and the second?
The last time I checked, Your Name is number 2, the movie, and
I do love that.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is number 1.
Oh, typical.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna have to go through the. I don't know if like maybe we should do like at some point like just a short little thing where we just go through like the top my anime list thing and be like, okay, I saw that. Here's what I thought of that, and here's this and that and all that stuff. And
Now keep in mind too,
see
that's
if we
based.
agree with any of them.
Keep in mind too, the rankings on Mao is sorted in 2 different categories. The first category is how well people rate the show, 1 out of 10. The second category is how many people follow the page that it's on. So in other words, it's a popularity contest. So
Well, I feel like the popularity thing would probably ebb and flow a lot because like what's going to be popular and what's going to be looked at the most is usually what's going to be like viewed, like whatever's currently airing is probably going to get the most stuff.
you'd be surprised. The top 3 right now, 3 Sword Art Online Season 1, number 2 Attack on Titan Season 1, and number 1 Death Note. It's been number 1.
Really?
I think that mostly has to do with, like, what is mainstream versus, like things that are currently airing are not stuff that, like, a lot of people in America are going to be familiar with. So that might have something to do with it.
You know what? That's fair.
Like, a lot of people in America will wait until the dubs come out so they can watch it then. Unless you're one of those people who does want to go and watch the subs, like, right away.
Well, we're doing that for this, so.
Well, it only became, like, more of a common thing for, like, newly aired animes to be available for viewing through streaming services, like, within the past, couple years? Because before that wasn't really an option, so, like, now people have way more access to those animes, so we might see a change in the trend at some point, but I think, like, what's familiar is probably what's gonna stick for now.
Hello?
Oh.
They cut out?
Yeah, I think. Oh,
Oh,
Hello.
oh.
sorry, you
Hi.
cut out there for a minute.
What was the last thing I said?
You were in the past couple of years, it's become easier to watch anime as it's coming out.
Yeah, well, because of the streaming services. Like, streaming services nowadays, like, will have currently airing shows up, like how Kanata no Astra and Copcraft were up on Hulu, as I was watching it. So, and because, like, people are gonna be catching on to that, like, as it continues, like, I feel like currently airing shows are going to slowly gain popularity, but for a lot of people, like, the mainstream tried and true animes are what's gonna stick for a while.
I guess you're right in that regard. Though, I mean, to be fair, I think legal streaming sites for currently airing anime are a recent development in the past few years. I mean, I was probably still in high school, and I was watching the new episodes of Naruto as they were coming out. Because, like,
Hey.
I think, YouTube was only, like, 4 years old at that point. 4 or 5 years old, and they did not have the bots they do now, so everything was up there.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of miss those days.
I remember watching Lion King on YouTube back in the day.
I watched The Dark Knight twice in theaters. Loved that movie so much when it came out. And then I found it on YouTube, and I watched it another 9 times. I might have watched it too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, that was a heck of a thing to be able to just do that and not have to worry about it. But hey, there's other sites now. There's other things. We've all got our pirate hats back on. But yeah.
Well, it's just becoming more and more difficult to gain access to anything anymore.
Yeah, it's like it became super easy for a while, and then not.
Well, everything is exclusive to one platform or another. What's exclusive to Crunchyroll? What's to Funimation? What's to Amazon? What's to Netflix? What's to Hulu? And it's like, well, okay, you expect me to pay.
There's a lot on Hulu. You'd be surprised.
Well, the thing is, I think Funimation has a partnership with Hulu because a lot of their stuff is up on Hulu.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Also, Hulu's owned by Disney. So, that's a thing.
So they should have all the Ghibli stuff too, right?
I'm not sure if they do.
I know they have an exclusive deal for dubbing Ghibli films.
They do.
And that's the only reason that only Ghibli films get up for Oscars. Yeah. Your Name should have won. But, what were we talking about originally? Steins Gate.
Yes.
I can't wait for you three to watch the movie. It's
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, we'll have to do that soon and do that for this month.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, did we already talk about what we're watching for the fall?
I put it in the update, but we should talk about it now. Any final thoughts on Steins Gate or Cop Crap before we close up for the night?
No.
Okie dokie. So, next week we're moving from Fridays to Sundays, so there will not be a episode on the 11th. Instead, we will have an episode on Sunday the 13th. And that will be the start of our fall anime hootenanny, because we're watching 2 new shows and an old show, so kind of like this. We're watching... I need to pull it up because I can't say Japanese words. Give me a moment to get that Google Doc.
Something Sherlock or whatever.
Yes, but it's a special name.
Yeah.
Kabukicho Sherlock. Kabukicho Sherlock. Whatever that is. That. It comes out in Japan at like 2 in the morning on Saturday for them, which for us is like 1 or 2 in the afternoon on Friday. So, yeah. That's on the 11th or 12th, depending on when you want to consider that it comes out. So, yeah, we'll be moving to the Sundays so that we can accommodate that properly. Mm-hmm. And we're wanting to watch Pet.
Yes.
We should say, well, Sherlock is about Sherlock, I guess, in Tokyo or whatever, or Kabukichikyo, whatever it is. And the other one is an anime called Pet, and it's about psychic people.
Yes.
Doing psychic things to each other. I'm thinking it's like Scanners. Did you guys ever see that movie?
No.
I've heard of it.
It's the one with the guy's head exploding. That old...
You
guys haven't seen that?
I've
Yeah.
seen the clip of that.
Yeah. The issue with it, though, is that... I'm actually going to check on there. It's being distributed by Amazon.
I have a Prime account, so I can watch it.
I have access as well. No, I don't want Pete the cat. I want Pet. I'm like... Okay. as of yet, I haven't seen it on there or seen it like being announced for when it's going to come out.
They still have no air date on that?
No, I haven't found it on Wikipedia. I haven't found it on my anime list. I haven't found it on Amazon. And yeah, at a certain point, we're gonna have to be like, well, if we can't watch it, we can't
We're gonna
talk
have to find
about
something else. No.
So make sure you follow the social media stuff, the Twitter at TheOutbackAl, and wherever else, because links are in the description below. We always have our social media in the description below. Because we might have to skip Pet and pick something else. And we have like 4 other options that we were kind of looking at. I'm kind of wondering, because maybe we should just leave it up to the people watching. Like, we can put a poll or something out.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, so the 4 other shows that we were looking at were... Oh, God. Okay, first off, before I butcher this, I want to say I don't know what's happening in Japan, but I'm thinking titles are starting to be paid by the word. So, Hanzuki no Gecko Kujo Shisho ni Narutame ni wa Shudan wo Erendireremanasan.
Is that all one title?
That's all one title.
In English, it's Transcendence of a Bookworm. It's so much easier in English.
Oh, I want to watch that.
It's from what I've been able to gather, it's Johann Gutenberg, the anime. It's about a girl getting sent to another world. It's an isekai, but she wants to be a librarian, so she has to make a printing press.
Yay.
So that's one. Next one. Chubyu Geki Hatsu Boy. I should say, the Johann Gutenberg happens on the 3rd. Chubyu gets Gekatsu Boy. Gav, you wanted that one. What was that one?
It's about a bunch of, like...
Oh, wait, I think I remember. It's like a high school anime, but everyone's like a megalomaniac or something.
Yeah.
Or they're insane in some sort of, like, they're all really crazy personalities.
Yeah.
That one comes out on the 4th.
Okay.
Or today, if you're watching the... Yeah. They can't know that we record these early. The next one is Beastars. I can say that. Which is Zootopia in high school, I think you said.
Zootopia in high school with a lot darker and a murder mystery behind it.
Okay, that comes out on the 10th. Furry murder porn. It's not porn. It's not. I don't think it is.
Okay.
I don't know. I won't cut that joke. I should cut that joke, but I won't cut that joke. And the last one is No Guns Life, which is...
It's made by Madhouse, and it's a noir detective thriller, but the twist is the guy, he has a gun for a head, and no one questions it.
I like...
Oh.
That comes out on the 11th. I like how you had to, like, do a preemptive sentence before you, like, actually explain it. It's like, hey, it's Madhouse, so it's good, but... And it's these things that are good. Like, so the main character has a 44 Magnum for a head.
Yeah.
You had to have, like, 2 caveats before you said it.
I don't know. That's something I would have expected from, like, Studio Trigger, but that's just me.
You making gun jokes now?
I mean, I wasn't, but I'll take it.
No,
anyway.
we have aliens.
If Pet falls through, which could happen, could not happen, I don't know. It has a week to figure itself out. If it does, you can comment below. We'll have a poll probably up on the community tab and on Twitter for which should be the second show or the runner-up show that we'll take on as the next thing. And who knows? Maybe the poll could probably help anyway, because we don't know if Sherlock or Pet, if it comes out, are going to be any good anyway. We could say nay early on and have to pick something else. So this would be a good chance for you guys for people watching to have a chance to have a say in what we're watching. Yeah. Oh, speaking of other things we're watching, because I forgot about this, we're also going to be watching Tiger and Bunny. For our retrospective element of this, we're going to be watching 3 episodes a week. It's available on Netflix, which is helpful if you have a password, and if not, still your roommates. It's about professional superheroes, kind of in the same vein as like One Punch Man a little bit, or The Boys, or I think that's kind of been like a thing that I've seen a lot more. The corporate sponsored superhero stuff.
So kind of
It's
like
kind
One
of like a
Punch
satire.
Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I'd say it's actually a little bit more like The Boys on Amazon, but it's not anywhere near as dark and gruesome as that. But yeah, so we're watching those, and show up next week for new stuff next Sunday, and see what sticks, see what's good, see what's not. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Anyone got any last things to say?
No.
Okie dokie then. We'll see you on the 13th with new fall anime. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!